Now, in this period of sexual market deregulation, in this period where it's basically a sexual free-for-all, you can do whatever the fuck you want insofar as sex is concerned, you have a very, very serious problem of sexually aggressive women who are, for all intents and purposes, sexually harassing men who don't want to sleep with them. You see, I actually experienced this back in 1991, as a matter of fact. Yeah, because I dated some girl in college, briefly, very briefly, and she basically wanted to sleep with me, and I didn't want to sleep with her because I thought that she was a little bit nuts, a little bit weird, right? And because of this, I sweet-talked my way out of it and didn't sleep with her and sort of like dropped her and ignored her and then chased other girls, right? And she found out that I was interested in other girls, and she got mad. She got really mad, and she lied about me. She lied about me and saying that I had accosted her, that I had assaulted her, that I had harassed her via email. She said that I'd, the accusation that I had forcibly tried to kiss her. And because of this allegation, this unfounded allegation that had all kinds of holes in the story, I was suspended for a full academic year, my very first semester at Dartmouth. Well, term, but same thing. See? It happened to me, so I know whereof I speak, okay? Sexually aggressive women are incredibly dangerous, and you want to keep an eye out for them. See, what happens with sexually aggressive women is that they think that they are entitled to sleeping with whomever they want. They think that it is their God-given right to sleep with you, even if you don't want them. Because you see, in the normal course of events, what's going on? A man is chasing women, right? And the women are basically reluctant to give sex unless they have certain conditions met. Now, historically, insofar as our species is concerned, this is, of course, requirements that the man would provide for the offspring that the woman had with him, right? Because that's the nature of sex. You have sex and you're going to have a baby. Yeah, you do it enough times and eventually you're going to have a kid. That's the thing about sex. But with the pill, with contraceptives, with abortion, now that's not the case, now is it? And so because of it, a lot of women feel that they are entitled to having sex with whomever they want. And they can cause a lot of damage to you if they set your eyes on you and you don't reciprocate. How many times have you heard this story? Some guy didn't want to sleep with some girl. And the girl started saying, what's the matter with you? Are you gay? What's wrong with you? Or maybe you have a tiny pecker and you're afraid and you don't want to show your pecker to me, Shit like that. Really disturbing shit, really disgusting shit. And of course, it's obvious to everybody that the guy is simply not attracted to the girl. Okay? It's not that he's gay. It's not that he has a small pecker. It's that he doesn't want to sleep with her for whatever reason. Well, the fact that she's aggressively trying to shame him into sleeping with her is probably part of the reason that the guy didn't want to sleep with her now, isn't it? Huh? You tell me. Right, because a lot of these women are just simply awful people. Let's cut to the chase. Okay, they are awful people. People in the left especially talk about being privileged and entitled and all the rest of it. But these sexually aggressive women who are so entitled, who will say the worst and most awful things to you just because you just don't want to have sex with her, right? They're awful. They are privileged and entitled little bitches. But you have to take care of yourself because they can spread a lot of damage. And the way they spread damage is by gossip. Yeah, they tell other people about you. They say that, oh, you're probably gay or you have a tiny dick or whatever. They'll make up, or like what happened to me, they will outright make up accusations that can hurt you very seriously. I mean, I was lucky because I was only suspended because there were so many holes in this girl's story that people were sort of like, oh God, this sounds like bullshit, but we don't want to look bad. And that's why I was only suspended instead of outright expelled. See, a vindictive woman can cause a lot of damage in a man's life, okay? And a lot of these women, these sexually aggressive women, they're incredibly vindictive and they will have no trouble whatsoever doing whatever it takes to hurt you. I mean, there's some story I remember about some guy some high school kid out in California who had this incredibly promising career in college football and potentially the NBA or whatever, because it's happened so many times. But anyway, the point is, see, the guy was accused of rape or some shit like that. And it was just some girl who wanted to fuck him, and he didn't want her. Okay? And so she made up lies and ruined his life. And to tell you the truth, now that I think about it, I'm realizing that it's two separate stories. One for a kid that happened in high school, and another for a kid who happened to in college. And see, the outcome was the same. His life was ruined. It happens all the time. And of course, people are going to believe her. You know, we live in the Me Too times now, don't we? So what you have to do is get ahead of the situation. Oh yeah, when you realize that some woman has her eye on you and she's offering you sex and you do not want to have sex with her, okay? There are basically two options. One is to have sex, you know, just close your eyes and do the deed. That's one possibility. But the other possibility is to tell her no. Now, if you tell her no, then you'd better be prepared to go to war. And the best way to defend yourself when you go to war is, well, to have a really strong offense. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because what you have to do is that when you turn her down, you have to realize that she's going to try to hurt you any way she can. Even if she might be a nice person, even so, you just have to assume the worst. And so what you have to do is go out to everybody that you know, and you have to say that you turned her down and that you don't want to have sex with her, but she acted as if she were entitled to sex with you, and you're very worried. And if you're in college, what you have to do is you have to go to the administration straight away. I mean, the second you turn her down, you got to go straight to the administration, straight to the someplace, I don't know, like the infirmary or sexual assault center or wherever and you have to report her. Yeah, I mean, though it may sound, you got to report her. Yeah, because if you don't do it preemptively, in a day or two, this woman is going to stew on her anger, and she's going to report you. Because it happened to me. I know whereof I speak. See, in the Bible, they talk about Jezebel. They talk about vindictive women. You know, in the Bible, and Clytemnestra, and the whole issue with Agamemnon. Clytemnestra killed her own daughter over her vindictiveness towards Agamemnon, right? I mean, come on. You gotta, you know, realize what's going on. Women, when they are angry at you, when they want to f you up, they can do so. They have done so for millennia, okay? They have used the social rules to their advantage, to your detriment, and they have f***ed over better men than you and I will ever be. Yeah, so you have to get ahead of the situation. It's as simple as that. Socially, you have to tell your common acquaintances what's going on. You have to tell them that you just turned this woman down and that you just didn't want to sleep with her, and that's that, and she got really pissed off about it, and you just basically say that, you know, you're not interested in her. That's what you have to say socially. Insofar as the college is concerned, you got to go and denounce her instantly, and don't fucking hesitate. Don't put it off. Don't think that, oh, it'll work itself out, you know, just like let sleeping dogs lie. No. A sexually aggressive girl, you turn her down, she is going to go vindictive on your ass. She's going to rape you, figuratively, metaphorically. But it's going to hurt a hell of a lot more than if she'd actually raped you. You know what I'm saying? Now, if this is in a work setting, holy shit, you're in trouble, okay? If it's in a work setting, a sexually aggressive woman, right, is going to create all kinds of trouble with you with the human resource department. And if she is a superior to you, she will cause even worse damage. Yeah, because what she'll do is, you know, she'll keep opportunities from you or assign you into dead-end jobs or just, you know, grunt work that is not fulfilling or that might actually hurt your career. And she can do all sorts of things, right? I mean, a person at a superior level in a job, you know, you curry favor with one, you can get like the cherry on the sundae, right? And you are on somebody's list, and they can wreck your job and your career into the future. So of course, in a work situation, you got to identify these sexually aggressive women and you steer clear of them. It's as simple as that. I mean, you're a fucking grown-up. You can steer clear of somebody if you really want to, right? You know how to do that. You know how to make sure that your contact with somebody who is potentially dangerous to your job or your career is minimized. You know how to do that. And, you know, people talk. That's the great advantage of being social animals. People talk. And you're going to quickly find out who is in your workplace a sexually aggressive woman, and you stay the fuck away from her. You know, the Pence rule, the Vice President Pence has this rule that everybody mocked him for it. He says that he never has a meeting with a woman unless there's a third person present. It's a fucking smart rule, yeah? Because, why? It's insurance. Yeah. Because that way nobody can ever accuse him of doing anything. Have you heard of all the women who are accusing Vice President Pence of sexually assaulting them? How many women so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10? 0, you tell me? Not one? Not a one? Huh? That's fucking weird. And what about Joe Biden, huh? See, old-fashioned rules like the Pence rule, yeah, they're old-fashioned, but they're fucking effective. Yeah. In a work situation, you want to apply the Pence rule. Okay? At first, because you're not going to know who is a sexually aggressive woman. And then later on, once you have identified those sexually aggressive women, you want to have a third person present so that nothing happens to you. Yeah. And whenever the possibility of this sexually aggressive woman coming up to you on the sly, like maybe at some, after work drinks or some shit like that, you get the fuck away from her. You get away from her as quickly as you can. Because remember, even if you have a good time with her and you fuck her and have a great time, eventually, it's going to blow up in your face, because eventually these relationships, they always end badly. And they'll end badly for you. See, because in the way things are today, men, straight guys like you're the ones who suffer. We're the ones who suffer. Yeah? See, if you were gay, nothing would happen to you, right? If you were, a lesbian woman, nothing would happen to you. You're a straight guy. You are the prey nowadays. Now, bitching and moaning about it and talking about the injustice of it all, yeah, you can moan all you want, but that's the reality that we're living in today. And you're a guy, you're relatively sophisticated, you understand what's going on around you, socially, politically. There is a whole movement that is looking to find victims, and more to the point, looking to find perpetrators like you, looking to find you and to f*** you up, even if you are innocent, because their jobs depend on it. See, that's the thing I didn't understand when I was in college. When I was accused of sexual assault and sexual harassment, it was bullshit. There was proof positive that I hadn't harassed her at all. And there were a whole bunch of people who could say that I had been at different times at different places with them and had not had the opportunity to assault her when she claimed that I'd assaulted her. There was all this proof, and it didn't matter. And I didn't understand at the time why it didn't matter. Now I do. At the time, there were all these counselors and sexual assault awareness programs and all this bullshit, all this bureaucracy. And this bureaucracy exists to punish you and me. That's what it's there for. See? In HR departments, in college administrations, in high school administrations, all of these sexual assault and survivor networks and all this bureaucratic bullshit, it exists to not just help the sexually aggressive woman get her way, but also to hurt you and me. That's their job. Their job is to fuck us over and ruin our lives. So be smart. Be smart. Don't put yourself in a vulnerable position. You see, back in the day, in the 40s and the 50s and even the 60s, see, a woman, she was told not to go to the bad neighborhoods because she might be raped. She was told not to go to the fraternities because, something might happen to her at some fraternity with a bunch of drunk guys and what have you, right? But the thing is turned around, see? Now a woman can literally go anywhere and nothing will happen to her, because every guy knows that if he looks at her the wrong way, he'll get ruined, right? Now it's the guy who has to take care of himself, has to be situationally aware, has to be looking around, knowing who the dangerous people are and avoiding them, and avoiding any situation that can bring the wrath of all this bureaucracy on your head, because it will happen. So don't play with fire. Be smart.